Hello guys, welcome to this week's Sunday market breakdown. I think this week is going to contain a lot of informations. Yeah, I can't wait to dive in. And then I have Euro Yen here. Euro Yen is not supposed to be part of the watch list today, but then I feels like I should just put it because there's a lot of information to learn from there, which is why I have Euro Yen on my watch list. White caps rather. So without further ado, let's dive straight into it. So first of all, here we have DXY. So DXY on the weekly is looking great. From last week analysis, if we come to daily, there's nothing much on the weekly. So from last week, when we have this recent price action around here, when we have this recent price action, where I was talking about potentials of price still moving to the downside here before we get the buy. Like I was forecasting something like this and then get the buy from here. But also I'm aware that we could continue, but then we need something deeper to actually look for the buy. So but then going to 4 hour here because I just want to stop at 4 hour and break something down for you. But then what we tend to have from that last week is that price create this hook point, came to target, and then give us that impulsive move to the upside. And then after the impulse, price create that hook point again right here, and now it's tagging it. So there's two things that can happen here. Is either price continue, from this point to the upside, or this could actually form a continuation to move to the downside. We don't know what the price is going to do. So but if price is going to go up, then we'll have a plan for it, and if it's going to go down, of course we'll have a plan for it as well. But if you look at the daily, the price action here is not that kind of highly impulsive one. So there's still potential for us to come to the downside, or maybe perhaps this can be the moves. This can be the signals to the downside as like this evening star, or maybe it can just be a continuation to continue to the upside the way it just was coming. So yeah, there's nothing more to talk about DXY this week. So the first of all watch list here is Euro Kiwi. Yeah, Euro Kiwi is looking fantastic. So let's go to the weekly and see. So Euro Kiwi looking fantastic. Let me just clean this up. On the weekly, we have this value area here where price could still gravitate towards, and then from there we can look to short the market from there. But then we have this other price action here, which is very, very important. Now initially there's some details I want you to see here, which is this. Look at here. This was initially the point of interest that we're looking to short, right? But what happened? Price throws a wick around it here, and price had came to actually fill the wick. But now when price was coming to fill the wick, what happened? It throws another wick around here, and totally price has now filled the wick. And of course, this is not now the value area. This is the new point of interest from here, where price has now filled this wick, almost 100% of it, closes at the edge of it. And now if you go to the daily, which is very, very key here, is that we have filled this wick there, the weekly wick there, in the form of 1, 2, 3 structure, something like this. So we have filled this wick in the form of 1, 2, 3 ascending structure, which serve as a reversal for us, right? But then we are not going to sell it anyway. This has potential to be the complete pattern. Look, we have the 1, 2, 3, and then we have the middle section. So all we need is the third touch around this area here, and then from there we can look to short the market from there. So I'm just going to come here on the 4 hour. Okay. So here, on the 4 hour. Here on the 4 hour, what do we have? We have this 1, 2, 3. We have this middle section right here. We have this middle section right here, and then this is where a lot of people is being caught on the wrong side of the market, because there's going to be many people that is going to be shorting around this point here, calling it a double top or whatever, and then they be like, look at the way price has correctively moved to the upside. So we have 1 2 3, we have the rejection, and now let's say from here, we are not going to be doing that. So for us to short the market around this point of interest there, or what people call a double top there, that we need to see a very convincing impulsive to the downside, and then we can look to short it. And then we want a deliberate price action. When I mean deliberate, I mean clear 1 hour 1 2 3 price action, and then we can look to short it. That means if the price is going to commit from here. But I think price is going to make that move to the upside a little bit like this, and then give us that push down, and then we can look to get engaged 1 hour or 15-minute flag here, highly entertainable, and then we can look to short the market around from there. So that is basically what I'll be looking for here. Price could also mimic this price here, where it just go up, comes down, and then form something like this, head and shoulder pattern, and then we can still look to short the market from there. So yeah, that is exactly what I'm anticipating here on Euro Kiwi. So now let's go back to the other price action. So the other one here is USD CAD, looking fantastic. USD CAD is actually looking fantastic. So yeah, let me just clean it up as well. Now we have this weekly value area here, demand zone, or call it whatever. Look at the way price has actually give that impulsive moves, and then price tends to now look like it's going to commit, gravitate towards this point, and then we can actually look to buy it from here. But then we are looking for this short at the moment. Now, so when you go to the daily, what do we have? Now it is key to actually, pattern separate to know the recent price action, because there's going to be a lot of people that is going to be connecting the trend line with something like this, connecting the trend line like this, and they'll be like, we have 1 2 3, now let's buy, and all those sort of things. No, because even if you look at this value area, price has missed this value area, so there's still potential for price to gravitate towards this with this move, especially with this kind of impulse. This can just be the continuation, and then we can impulse possibly move to the downside from here as well. So now if you pattern separate, this is just another bit of pattern on its own. Right here is a pattern on its own like this, and then you have the impulse, correction, impulse. That phase, that cycle is completed. Then we have the new cycle, established impulse, correction, impulse, to complete the recent cycle. And then I have my 1 2 3 structures right here. So now when you go to 4 hour from here, now here it looks like price is going to impulsively move to the upside, which is very, very key here. There's something I want you to get here, like it's very, very key to understand what I'm about to tell you right here. Now when price is forming a kind of continuation pattern into a value area, majority of the time it is going to serve as a reversal, you get. So but from here I just feel price is what we call line in the sand here, because look, if price is going to continue from this point, it will likely form the continuation right here to move to the upside, or it could break it, form the continuation, and then move to the upside. So if it's going to commit, this is possibly what issue does. So however, when I see price action commit to the downside, and I see any sort of continuation around this point of around this area here, I would definitely be looking to short the market, because look, majority of the time when we have a reversal into a value area, it serves as a continuation into a value area, it serves as a reversal. So yeah, I would gladly entertain any sort of 1 hour or 15-minute flag here after a convincing push to the downside, and that is the market catching people on the wrong side of the market, thinking they're going to buy, continue, and then they'll keep on buying, and then we can look to short the market. However, if we see any kind of moves, impulsive moves and continuation around this point, that negates the sell, and then from there you can look for the buy. But for me, I'm not interested in the buy at the moment, but it's very, very possible, but it's not something I'm interested on. So I hope you get that. So there's not much to say about USD CAD. So the next one we are going to talk about here is pound oxy, which is very, very key as well. So here on pound oxy, initially we have this point of interest here. We have this point of interest here, which price has actually gravitated towards, but then it doesn't form that progression. We did reject that area, but then price never formed that projection, and it retraces back to the upside. And now price is forming the 1, 2, 3 structure around here with a middle section, if you like. So let's go to the daily. Now here on the daily, we have 1, 2, 3 structure. We have the middle section right here, so we can just clean this up because this is not important. Now there's one thing I want you to know here. When you have, say you have a value area like this, and then you have an ascending formation with a kind of middle section like this, and then you have this third touch. Now essentially you could actually be sell from here because we have the 1, 2, 3 third touch. But then if you have a hook point here, majority of the time price is going to violate the third touch and then gravitate towards this hook point, and then that is where you're going to get the sell from. You get same thing as if you have a complete structure. Let's say you have a hook point like this, right, and then you have a complete structure, a complete pattern, something like this. Majority of the time price is going to violate these hook points and then gravitate towards the pattern and complete the 1, 2, 3 middle section and then drop from here. Those are the two scenarios. It's either after the completion price violates the third touch to make it to this area here, or sometimes price violates this one and then make it to the third touch here, especially if we have these middle sections leading to this pattern. So this is very key, which I want you guys to understand, because some people don't actually understand this pattern and then they just kind of, sorry, this is not what I want to draw for. Some people don't actually understand the pattern, they just sell and sell. So here we have the middle section. Price violates this one because we have middle section here. There is probability for price making the third touch, and then from there we can look for the sell. So let's just go straight to the 1 hour. So here on 1 hour time frame, you can just refine that here. So here on 1 hour, what do we have? We have this continuation right here, right? Which look prices can actually do this, and then maybe mimic the area to form a head and shoulder, and then we can look for the sell right here, or perhaps price can form another pattern here, drop, look for that continuation, and then we can look to position ourselves around the continuation. So basically all I want to see is a commitment to the downside, and then I can look for the continuation to actually get engaged on this one. And now the thing I want to talk about here on pound of this, I see a lot of people actually looking for the buys around here to short-term buys to long-term sell. No, like sometimes you just have to realize that it's good to stay out of the market majority of the times and just observe from the sidelines. Look, this is a counter trend and we are high up into the structure. You don't want to be taking this kind of structures, this kind of continuation patterns around this area. Look, I'm better off staying out of the market, because this can just form, like this can potentially develop into a lot of different things you won't understand, like a lot of things. This can just have something like this, and then so it's better to just stay out of it, just observe and be like, okay, when there's no trade, there's no need to force it. There's going to be a lot of opportunities in the market, so there's no need to lose money unnecessarily in one trade like that, or one pair. So guys, all I want to see is a move up, commitment to the downside, and then I can look to engage. So the next one I'm going to talk about is German US 30. US 30 is looking fantastic here as well. But then the key information here on US 30 is the fact that we've had some subjective value areas. So what I mean by subjective value areas is when you have a value areas close to each other. So you're not going to know which one market is going to respect, but then once you know what you're looking for, it's going to be easy to actually get your entry and then not get caught up with any of unnecessary losses. So essentially, price is now reacting from the first one right here, right? So now look at it, and with the way price has actually ascended, which is why this is important. Just what I said about complete pattern, I think this is the first real example here. Now look at that. We have this point here. This is actually a value area, but then it's not the best. This is the higher, because this is the weekly value area, right? But then even if price is going to react on this one here, as you can see, we have 1, 2, and then the top touch is going to fall around this area, and then we can look for the sell there, as that is valid. However, what price did is price formed a middle section right here. Price formed a middle section right here, and then failed to actually make the move and then create this continuation, and price has gravitated towards the third touch of the pattern, which is here, and that aligns with which is here, like so. Let me just read it back, and that's aligned with this value area. So it's no coincidence price begin to actually a little bit dropping from that area, but then if you look at it, that is not the best impulsive move. However, we always have plan for it. Let's just go straight to the 1 hour and see exactly what we are looking for around here. Now price has now break these areas here, so this is not really relevant anymore. So what is more important to me here is this low here. So basically what I want to do is I'm going to be taking, if I see any continuation just below here, let's say tight 1 hour flag around here, I'm not going to be taking 15 minutes. If I see tight 1 hour flag around here, I'm going to take it. However, if I also see a move down and then get a sort of continuation, trade-off structure, of course I'll be looking to engage around here. So anything tight flag here, this is where I want to see the tight flag. I want to see the tight flag around this area here. So if the tight flag is anywhere around here, no, I'm not going to be taking it anymore. So I want to see the tight flag close to this area, and then I can take it. If not, I'll be looking for that trade-off structure, and then I can look to sell this one here. So basically that is what I'll be looking for here. And then it is important to actually position yourself around these value areas, especially this sort of confluence factors that we have here. So yeah, the next one here is German 30, which is really great. And then from last week's on the market breakdown, where we talked about this price action here, like we have the impulse correction, and then we move, and then we start to form this three-touch structure, and then what happened after that? Price dropped. And then we talked about same thing here, impulse correction, impulse, three-touch structure, value area, and then price begins to drop from this point here. So it's no coincidence, because we understood the price action just well enough. Guys, you have to understand, I'm feeling a little bit sick now, so like, yeah. So but I just have to do this Sunday market breakdown anyway, because I just feel like, regardless of how I feel, I have to do it. I don't really feel like doing it this week, but then I just have to turn off somehow. So yeah guys, we had just cleared these lows here, which is very important. We just cleared these lows, so anything below here we'll be looking for the short. So let's just go straight into 1 hour and see what we got there. So 1 hour is looking very, very great. So we have this one here. So, and then we have this point of interest here. So now what I'm really looking for is this. Look, there's no way I'm going to be taking any sort of continuation here, because why? We have not tagged this value area here, this high, we have not tapped it. So because of the near miss around here, there's high probability for price to, you know, gravitate towards that point of interest again, and then give us the short, and then we look for that continuation around here to actually look for the sell. So essentially it's so simple what I'm looking for here. I want price to come back one more time, tap this area here, and then give me the continuation on lower time frame, 15 minutes, refine on 5 minutes, and then I can look to position myself around here, and then I capitalize on the move. That is exactly what I'm looking for. Anything beside that, I'm not really interested in it. Yeah, so simple. So the next one here is pound card, which is the same. This is the same. So now here on pound card, let me just delete this one because there's real information here. So we have this value area here. Price came near misses that, and what we understand about near misses is a majority of the time price near misses a value area like this, it most often than not come back to that area, you know, and then before we can actually sell. So if that is going to happen, and then that can evolve the structure into what we call 1, 2, 3 structure, which of course will also be good for us if we have something like this, you know, 1, 2, 3 structure, and then we can look to sell around this area. However, price don't have to, you get, but you have to understand anything you are taking is going to be high risk trade, but there's a lot of things we can do to mitigate against this risk. But if we can't do anything to mitigate the risk, then we should be staying out of such trades. So now if you look at here, we have 1, 2, 3 structure leading into that point, but then we still near miss it, which is very, very important to take note. However, we can still gravitate towards this value area here, this point of interest here, and then, but for that, because we near misses this zone here, I have my ray line around this point here. So I want price to gravitate towards that area. Let me just go to 1 hour, and there's nothing much to talk about on daily or whatever. So I want price to gravitate towards this point here, maybe in the form of anyhow, but then I want to see a push to the downside, and then I can look for that sell. So this is what I'm going to be doing to mitigate against the risk on this trade. Then I can position myself around here and then capitalize on these moves to the downside. So basically this is exactly what I've been looking for. Any sort of moves, either impulsive, all I want to see is a push down, corrective, all I want to see is a push down, structural, all I want to see is a push down. I'm not going to be taking any sort of risk entry. I want a false commitment, 15-minute flag, and then I can look to position myself on this trade. So guys, I keep it so simple, nothing complicated. So the next one is going to be Euro Yen, and now this is it. Just like I've said, now with Euro Yen here, like I said from last week, we are trading at the middle of two value areas, which is this one and this one here. But now if we look at a pattern, which is very important as well, we have this 1, 2, 3, and this is not a coincidence. And this I just figured out on my last week ASR, because I don't take any position last week, but then I still have to go to see, okay, how did the market perform, how did it play out, like what happened, the progress. So I noticed this, and then let's go to the daily to actually get things real clear. So now essentially you have something like this, right? Now 1, 2, 3, middle section. Now because the top touch of this pattern exceed this value area here, there's high probability of price not kind of respecting this value area and then still make it to the top touch, and then from there we can look for the short, right? So which is very, very important, and that is exactly what happened here. We have this middle section, price violated this value area here after the near misses, price violated it here to head to the top touch of the pattern. And now on the top touch of the pattern, we have this double top around here, but then price tends to come back to that area in the form of, a continuation pattern, which of course is still kind of developing a bit more. This is white card rather. So I feel like I shouldn't have this one on my watch list, either white cards or whatsoever, on my top 6. But then I just feel like there's a lot of details to be explained right here, which is this, something I've explained earlier. When you have a complete pattern and price is going to violate any sort of value area or hook point or whatever to complete that pattern, like just the way I've illustrated without two structures previously. So those are exactly the things that most likely most of it that not happens in the market with the patterns. So now price gravitated, give us the sell, impulses up, and now price failed to move to. Now the thing is, the reason I did not have this on my watch list, I don't want to have this on my watch list, is because of this. If this structure is coming from this point of interest here, like a double top, then I can look for the sell. But now price is looking like it's not coming from this point of interest, like it's not coming from this top here. However, because of these structures here, we can still sell from this point, and then this will just be a kind of a running channel, and then this will, especially when we have this deliberate price action around here, and then with this head and shoulder pattern around here as well. So yeah, price can still move to this down to this point. So but for me to actually look for any sort of sell, like always, because this is just not the type of trade I want to be having. But then I want to explain something, that when the price is messy, and then like seems like you don't know what to look for, all you have to do is wait for till price break a very key area, and then from there you can look to engage. So what I mean by key area is this: once price impulsively break this low, and then anything below this low, I can entertain that, and then I can look to short it. But it has to be below this low here, and that gave me the confirmation that probably we are heading to the downside now. And then any sort of confirmation, continuation pattern, I will definitely get engaged on it. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking for here. So majorly I shouldn't have this on my watch list, but then this is key. So UK 100, keeping it simple, I'm just going to start from the daily, guys. I'm really feeling headache right now. Yeah, so however, we continue. Aluta continua. So now we have this price coming from this value area here. Price give this exhaustive price action, and then impulses down. So when you go to 4 hour, so there's nothing much on the bigger scheme to talk about here. We are just trading everything that is inside here, because we can, especially with this near misses around this point here, we can still come back to this area and see if we can get a buy, or maybe perhaps continue to the downside. However, we need a deliberate price action to actually get on this trade. So now what do we have here? We have this hook point there, you can see it clearly on 1 hour. So I want price to actually give me this sort of price action here, 1 2 3. Now because we have this hook point here, I'm expecting price is going to violate this 3 touch here, and then once we violate that, tag this hook point there, drop, and then I can look for 15 minutes entry around here. So this is basically what I need to take this trade here. Anything beside this, well, that still remains to be the same, because this is also possible here. Understood. We can also have some bit of price action like this, and then you have 1 2 3, look to position yourself here, and then yeah. So basically, if I'm going to be taking trade there, it has to be, like I said, always impulse down, looking to engage around on this one, and then we have this sort of formations, then look to capitalize around it. So this is basically the scenarios that could happen here on UK 100, and then that is exactly what I need to see. I want to see a commitment to actually get engaged here. So this one, USD Swiss franc. So from last week we were looking at this value area here. The thought to actually get itself from there. However, we did not get that. Price like looked at the structure, but then price gravitated into this value area here. This is a continuation area, so this is not a hook point. You get, this is not a hook point. The reason I marked this out because it was a previous continuation pattern where price we have this impulsive price action, institutional move. So yeah, that's a lot of orders stacked there, and our price has gravitated towards this area again from this head and shoulder pattern. And then yeah, and then I can look to position myself around this area here. So any sort of continuation around here, of course I'm going to entertain it like so, and then I'm going to look to position myself here. Majority of the time this can be a two-touch structure, you have to understand. So if I go to 15 minutes to actually scale it out, yeah, so I would want to see some sort of stuff like this. That becomes 1 2 3, and I can look to position myself around there. That is absolute key. So yeah, that is exactly what I'll be looking for around this point of interest here. So yeah, so right, so nothing much to talk about here. We can also have a three-touch structure. Nice. Whatever we have here, all we need is a continuation pattern, and then we can look for the risk entry around there. So yeah, around here, and then we can capitalize it to the downside. Yeah, so going to the Euro Oxy, well, this one is simple. Like this one has to do something before I even start looking at it. Yeah, so because we have this value area here, I am not paying any interest on this one. So all I want to see is price coming to this one here. It's very, very close now. So with a day candle we can do that. Price comes here, push down, continuation pattern and lower time frame, and I can look to short it from here. So basically this is all I want to see on lower time frame. But for now, there's nothing to talk much about here, because we have, now this is exactly what I was saying about when you have a value area and I have a 1 2 3, price is going to, majority of the people is going to be looking for sell here, especially with this hook point there. Yeah, but then you have to understand, we have the major ones at the top, and price tends to gravitate towards the major areas, especially when you have you know, some bit of kind of momentum coming from, look at that, this initiate this move that break a lot of lows, you get. So this is a strong point of interest, and then even this one break these lows, so these are strong point of interest. If not this one, then it's going to be this one. But however, price is actually trading close to this one now, so that gives me a pointer that we could probably break this one and then break back inside, get that continuation, and then we can look to sell. So basically this is what I want to see. But until then, until price do this, then I'm not going to be paying attention to this. Once price has gravitated towards any of those, impulses back, and then that is when I can start looking for any sort of entry. So yeah, keep it so simple, guys. And then this one, kiwi, pound kiwi. So yeah, this is exactly the other thing. Now here, this is also key. What I want to show you here, this one is just a week. So this one is just a week. It's just a week. So this is the real value area right here, you get. So now for that reason, the price has make 1 2 3 structure, price create an extension. It does not commit, but then create an extension. So taking any sort of flag around here is going to be a high risk trade. For me to take any trade, I want to see price breaking out this value area and then retraces back inside, and then looking for this sort of price action to sell it. I don't want to be get caught up anywhere. So I'm not going to be, look at that, you don't want to be taking any sort of trades around here until price has tagged a major area, impulses down, correction, and then you can look to engage around this point. Until then, there's no way I'm going to be entering any position. If price should give me something like this from here, let's say something like this, I'm not going to enter. This is a no for me. The only way I'm going to enter, price anything from here impulses down, and then I can look for this, and then fine, I can enter this position right there. But anything aside that, there's no way I'm going to enter any trade right here. So I think, guys, that is all guys. So I just feel like I have to show this. Like I'm feeling a bit headache this morning, like feeling sick a little bit. So I feel like I can't do this, but then I just feel like I have to turn up and then still do it no matter what, because I believe it is going to help some people. Yeah. So I hope you guys take some great values from this Sunday market breakdown. And then if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the subscription button so that you get updated when I get to post any new content. Yeah. So guys, signing out now. Thank you.